Hello everyone, welcome back. We have another trade to discuss. There's been a massive deal that went down earlier today between the San Jose Sharks and the Colorado Avalanche. Because of all the details coming up right now. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here at the Internet Hockey Channel. Never for being in this video, don't forget to like this video. Subscribe down below. Thank you for all your support. We're near to with all of you guys. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe button down below. Don't forget to comment down in the comment section below so we can all discuss in this video. So earlier today we saw a massive deal that went down after the Scott Wedgwood deal happened a couple weeks ago when Colorado moved a union and a pick to Nashville in exchange for Scott Wedgwood. I thought that would be the end of it for the goaltending moves for the Avalanche for at least the time being. But only a couple of weeks later, the Avalanche have made another goaltender move. And it's a big one. The trade is as follows. The Colorado Avalanche send Alex Georgiev, young forward Givani Kovalenko, a 2026 second and 2025 fifth round pick to the San Jose Sharks in exchange for Mackenzie Blackwood, depth forward Givani Smith, and a 2027 fifth round pick. So this is a massive move for both sides. We'll start with the Avalanche side first. So we know Georgiev had not had the best of starts of the year for the Avalanche. He had started off as a starting goalie for that team. He eventually lost his starting job to Union. Then they traded Union for Wedgwood, and then Wedgwood's actually been really good in the Avalanche colors over the past couple of games. So with Georgiev falling down the depth charts, they needed to move on from him, get a new goaltender who could work with Wedgwood. So they move on from Georgiev. Kovalenko's actually been really good as like a top 9 forward this year for the Avalanche, so they move on from him too. They also move off a second round pick and fifth round pick for a team who's most likely probably going to make the playoffs this year. That's not too surprising and not too upsetting for the Avalanche, especially if it was able to get them some goalie upgrades. And they get a couple of pieces here. The first piece is the biggest piece of the deal, and it's Mackenzie Blackwood. Blackwood's in the final year of a 2-year deal with AV of $2.35 million. He'll be a UFA at the end of the year if he doesn't sign an extension before then. Blackwood signed that deal with San Jose. San Jose acquired his signing rights from New Jersey for a 6th round pick, so for the Sharks it's a pretty good move. Blackwood so far in his Sharks tenure has been fantastic, even though the Sharks have not been an overly great team. Last year they had an abysmal record, but Blackwood actually put up some pretty good numbers, all things considered. Put up 44 games played, having a 3.45 GAA and an 899 save percentage, which is just below average, but on an extremely bad Sharks team, it was quite good. So far this year has played 19 games, that's a 3 GAA and a 910 save percentage, which is actually quite fantastic, once again, on a subpar Sharks team. So Blackwood's been fantastic. Now he's actually done quite well after leaving New Jersey and San Jose, even though the Sharks haven't been an overly good team. So in a more stacked blue line and a better defensive structure, I expect Blackwood to be a phenomenal fit as the Avalanche's new starting goaltender. Just a week and a half ago, the Avalanche had Georgiev and Union as their tandem, and now they're going forward with Blackwood and Wedgwood. So pretty good pickups there for the Avalanche to have their new goaltending tandem. And like we said, if Blackwood fits in really well, maybe he resigns. And if he doesn't do overly well, then it's just till the end of the year, and then they can walk away from him. So we'll have to wait and see on that. They also pick up a depth forward in Givani Smith. Smith is a depth player. He's in the final year of a 2-year deal with AV of $800,000. Another deal they also signed with the Sharks. So Smith has been a fantastic bomb 6 forward past couple of years. Hasn't been an everyday NHL forward, but has been able to get into a couple of really good games. So for this year, had no points in 6 games with the Sharks. So with the lack of depth and still some injuries that the Avalanche are dealing with right now, I could see Smith be a solid 4th line forward, at least for the time being for the Avalanche, and then eventually maybe he falls down their depth charts a little bit, or maybe he gets demotion or something like that. I do wonder what will happen after that, but I think Smith could be a really good fit as a bomb 6 forward in Colorado, so they get him. He's also in the final year of his deal, so both players the Avalanche picked up during the final year of their deals and pending UFAs at the end of the year. And they also got a 2027 5th round pick from the Sharks, so it's a couple of years down the road. By that time the Sharks might be really good. They could use it as future draft capital, so pretty good pickup there for the Avalanche to get at least 1 draft pick back in return. Meanwhile for the Sharks, Blackwood was a guy who was always going to be moved. He had played really well. They're going to get really good value for him, so there's always the chance he was going to get moved. So they move off of him. Depth player they probably weren't going to bring back in Smith and a 5th round pick, and in return they get 4 pieces. First to get Georgiev. Georgiev, just like Blackwood's in the final year of his deal, the 3-year, $3.4 million AAV deal to be precise. Georgiev this year has not had overly great numbers. His first year in Colorado, he was great, putting up a 918 save percentage and 2.53 GAA in 62 games. Last year had an 897 save percentage and a 3.02 GAA in 63 games. And so far this year in 18 games played has a 3.38 GAA and 874 save percentage. So he's gotten worse each each year after arriving in Colorado. He just has not looked overly good the past couple of years, so Sharks get him. If he can play well in San Jose, given the fact he's a pending UFA, I could see the Sharks maybe try and flip him at the deadline to a team who needs some more goaltending help. It'll depend on how good Georgiev does the rest of the year, but the Sharks will have Georgiev. Now they have, once again, 2 expiring contracts in net for the rest of this year, with Vanacek and Georgiev both being pending UFAs, so it's an interesting deal. Georgiev can maybe find his footing, and we'll see if the Sharks wind up flipping him or not. When it comes to Kovalenko, he's playing in his first full season at the NHL level this year. So far, has 4 goals and 8 points in 28 games for the Avalanche. Has been playing in the top 9 for the Avalanche. Been a pretty good player there for Colorado. So it's going to be a little bit hard to see him go for the Avalanche fans' perspective. But that could be a really good pickup there for the Sharks. I think eventually he could be a solid middle six forward. He's also in the final year of his deal, a 2-year deal with the AV of $896,000, but he will be an RFA at the end of the deal. So the Sharks will be able to have his rights and could try and re-sign him. So we'll have to wait and see on what happens there. But Kovalenko should be a really good pickup there for the Sharks. And then the Sharks also get the Avalanche's 2nd round pick in next year's draft and the Avalanche's 5th round pick in this year's draft. Now that's for the next 2 years. Avalanche are probably going to be a team who maybe makes the playoffs. They don't look like an overly fantastic team to make the playoffs right now. It's quite possible they could by the end of the season, but that pick's probably going to be somewhere between the 15 to 25 range for the Avalanche. So we're going to have to wait and see on how that goes. So it's a couple of lower end draft picks, but a 2nd round pick and a 5th round pick is still pretty good value in the Sharks. So they're able to improve the draft capital just a tiny bit. So some really good stuff there. So this is an interesting deal for both sides. For the Avalanche, they get a bottom 6 forward. They get a new great starting level goaltender and a 5th round pick. For the Sharks, they get a player who's on the final year of their deals, who's not doing overly well in net, who maybe could do well in San Jose, and then they could flip later on at a later date. They get a young prospect in Kovalenko, who I think could be a really good top 9 forward there, and they get a 2nd and 5th round pick. So all in all, it's a pretty good deal. I do think that for the time being, the Avalanche win this deal because I think Blackwood is going to be a major upgrade. But if Kovalenko can turn out to be a really good prospect and that 2nd round pick helps him out, whether it's in a trade or whether it's drafting someone in a really good way, or maybe they flip Georgiev and get a really good return, I think the Sharks could wind up winning this deal. But at this point in time, I'll say the Avalanche do win this deal, so definitely. Let me know your thoughts on all this down in the comment section below. What do you think about this deal? Who wins it? Is it the Avalanche by acquiring Blackwood? Is it the Sharks by getting 4 pieces? Definitely let me know your thoughts on all of that down in the comment section below. That's all I'm going to talk about for today. Enjoy this video. If you like it, subscribe down below. Thank you for all your support. We're without you guys. So if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe button down below. Don't forget to comment down in the comment section below so you can also listen to this video. Also the blog, talking about news, rumors, analysis, stuff like that. So I'm going to check that out. I'll link to that in the description below. And kind of see you guys all for the next video. See you guys soon.